Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the tall, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still he answered the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the tall, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still he answered the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, welcome back to another Officer Tatum show. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Shinergy, which is my supplement company. Incredible company, great products. We got so many 5-star reviews so far, and it's nerve-wracking because 3 years of actually trying to get this thing put together, 5 years it's been since the idea came about, but actually seeing it come to fruition, come to market, and seeing a lot of y'all's tremendous reviews. Some people say it's changed their life. Some people saying they have never had a good night of sleep until they start taking Shinergy. It's been a plethora of different opinions about Shinergy, and I'm very proud and honored by it. So if you're looking for an energy drink that's natural, won't give you a crash, that tastes incredible, and that you can travel anywhere with it, Shinergy is your choice. If you're looking for a supplement that will help you go to sleep without overdosing you with melatonin, Shinergy's day-night or day drink is your solution. So go to ShinergyLife.com, ShinergyLife.com. Let's get into this, the Shiloh Hendricks effect. Now, this video will pee you off because it makes me mad. It makes me mad. She's an idiot to me. However, it speaks to a bigger issue other than whether or not she's an idiot or not, whether or not people done gave almost $800,000 to a woman that called a kid an N-word. But what it does speak to is the backlash against cancel culture, which I am supportive of. It's not about Shiloh Hendricks. This is more about people getting sick and tired of being sick and tired of the double standard, of the racism, and the policing of speech only if you look like this. Because God is my witness. This woman on camera, if she was a black woman calling a white kid a saltine, you know what I'm saying, nobody would ever, it wouldn't be viral. Nobody would cancel her. Her job wouldn't even fire her. But if you white and you call a kid a certain name, they will ruin your life. They want to put you in prison. You deserve to go to hell. You can't go to church no more. Your debit card going to get canceled. So people are sick of that. They are sick of watching the people of the melanin, not all, because most of us, I ain't say most. I can't say most. I ain't finna lie to y'all because I don't really think most. I think a lot of black people are smart, intelligent, and we don't fall for this bull crap. But to watch every day on television, every day on social media, every day on sportscasting, every day on GoFundMe, and black people are doing the most racist things that you've ever seen in your life. A kid stabs a kid in the heart and they on there. That's what he get. They've been doing it to us for 100 years. I mean, you will never lose your job by saying that. And white people getting sick of it. And the backlash is the microcosm of Shiloh saying something and getting the support that we see she got. But here's her update. I'm going to let you guys listen to it, then I'll finish the commentary. Roll the clip.
Everyone, I'm Shiloh Hendricks. I wanted to take a little time to talk to you all about what's been going on with my fundraiser and kind of the aftermath of the park situation. There are a lot of people who think that this has all been a scam, that I haven't been getting my money and that it's not going to me. I have gotten every dime of my money. It's all gone to me. Nobody has asked me for any money. So there's that. When I first found out that the park video was going viral, it was terrifying, but not surprising, because obviously he was recording me. It was going to get out there at some point. I did not realize I was going to have so much support and have all of you people rally around me and have my back in this situation. And it was very overwhelming, and I am so grateful for you all for that. I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody and just showing what can happen if we tribe up and if we stick together and if we keep fighting back. Our future, our existence depends on standing up for ourselves and not backing down. And we just have to keep on going. There's no other option. I mean, what else are we going to do? You can't be afraid of words. Don't be afraid of the people who are so fragile to a word. Again, I just want to say that I am so grateful for all of my supporters and all of my people who have been with me through all of this.
Y'all have created the face of a movement.
Hold on. I'm going to let Anton, his name is Anton Daniels. Love the guy, man. He's incredible on social media. And this is the reason why I chose this clip. I'm going to let him give his 2 cents, and then I'm going to piggyback that, roll the clip.
Where I don't think that she's right. I don't think that any child should ever be called out of their name and the N-word. But at the same time, the overcorrection and the diversity, equity, and inclusion ultimately led to an uprising. And this is what you see, where people thought that they were squashing and eliminating and completely reparating racism, and they overcorrected. And when black people thought that they was just going to continue to beat a dead horse and beat a dead horse and beat a dead horse, and eventually you back people into a corner, and now this is the face of a movement and an uprising where things are going to get worse. I predict that things are going to get worse before they get better. I've always believed in love, man. I've always believed that the way that you put out a fire is with water. And so you don't have to feed into it. We need to hold ourselves accountable, speak up and say, hey, we don't necessarily agree with you. For a long time, they've been censored. Now, Shiloh Hendricks is going to be the face of a movement where you see people, and this is why she's raised so much money, where you see people that say, you know what, we not scared of y'all, we not going to shut up no more, and we do believe in freedom of speech.
And this is where I come in. I agree 1,000% with Anton, and I agree 1,000% with the sentiment that's behind what Hendricks has done. White people are sick and tired of not being able to say what they want to say. But black people can say what they want to say every day of the week. Ryan Clark literally criticized another black man on television for having a white wife. Can you imagine if a white man was criticizing a woman for having a black husband? I mean, bruh, could you imagine? And so I feel like white people are duly upset and sick of the double standard. Because And I'm not trying to be the white man's advocate here. I advocate for everybody. I'm just giving you the microcosm that has occurred in the United States of America. White people have been treated so poorly in America. And I'm not talking about physically treated poorly. I'm talking about forgotten. I'm talking about lied about, betrayed, and treated as if they would have been the devil in America for too long. I hate that the generalization of white people have been created in such a prolific way that now people got to fight back. Let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about. Ever since the beginning of the foundation of what we know now as America, there have always been good white people and bad white people. And when you think about slavery, they lie to you about slavery. The average person, I think, believes that during slavery, all white people owned all the black people that were here. I swear to God, people in college think that. And you realize you're like, no, it's like less than 2%. I've seen less than 6% of all white people that live here own a slave. And we all know every slave wasn't a plantation slave. I'm not going to say we all know that. If you learn about slavery, you'll realize not everybody's on a plantation. Having a massive plantation full of slaves was the rarest thing you can imagine, because you had to be incredibly wealthy to be able to pay and support and buy all of those slaves on that plantation. So it was only a few massive plantations. The rest of it was pretty much people slaving and working for a family, whether you're an inside slave, whether you're a plantation slave, or whether you're a slave doing slave labor, meaning you come to the house and they own you. And so all of your proceeds that you make at their house, when you go work, they get proceeds from you when you go work. There's a lot of different aspects of slavery, but there has always been, from the foundation of America, white people that never owned slaves and never had anything to do with slavery and thought that slavery was wrong. And when we had the Civil War, the side of the white people that never believed in slavery prevailed. Can they get any credit? When Harriet Tubman was conducting the Underground Railroad, who do you think helped her? White people. Good white people. Who essentially brought the gospel of Jesus Christ to the United States of America? White people. Who do you think created this environment where people can prosper more than they can prosper anywhere else in the world? White people. Who do you think gave black people the right to vote? White people. Freedom. White people. Citizenship. White people. Black people couldn't give that to themselves. Who corrected the wrong? White people. Like at what point do we say we have to stop bashing our brothers and sisters because some people, a part of their race, did bad things? Because if you ask me today, with the logic that some people of the melanin think about white people, black people are far worse than white people. Because today, the leading murderer, probably for the last 60 years, the leading murderer of black people are black people. The leading the people who are raping black people are black people. The scammers, they scamming their own people. The drug pushers, they pushing drugs and zombitizing their own people. I made that word up. It's called making people zombies. You know, deputizing, they zombitizing people. They creating zombies in their own community. The people who are screwing black kids up in school, they parents and the teachers at the school. Like, black people are destroying themselves and are the biggest detriment to black people in the last 100 years than anybody else in recorded history. So I'm saying this to say, me as an impartial Christian that's a God-fearing man first before any color, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, this is why Shiloh Hendricks exists. Is because the overcorrection that has happened, and white people now are having to overcorrect in the other direction. It would have never happened if the government would have stayed out of folks' business. We should have never forced desegregation from the government. I feel like people in due season, with love and appreciation and free market, will begin to collaborate and overcome differences. The government had no mother freaking business segregating and desegregating because people weren't lawfully segregated. Then the government comes in with Jim Crow laws and force segregation onto people. And force black people have to do this and white people do this. Forced, separate but equal. The government did that. And then what did the government do? Once they get you in a pickle, they create a situation where you can't get out the pickle. Because if you guys have ever noticed, and I think this reigns true no matter where you stand, when you begin to prioritize one, you alienate the other, which create controversy. I have 2 sons. If I begin to overcompensate for one son, it's going to cause the other son to be envious. And the other son's envy is not necessarily going to be perpetuated against me. It's going to be perpetuated against his other sibling. So that means now he see all this happen and he get jealous and say, you know what? Nah, screw him, man. You know, you're always doing stuff for him. You'll never do nothing for me. And animosity starts. That's why you don't do your kids like that. That's why you don't have favorite kids. You treat both of your kids or all your kids equal. They're different. They have different needs, but you treat them equal with love and support in the areas in which they are involved in. The same thing you do with Americans. You don't overcompensate and give black people things they didn't earn, because what happens is the good qualified white people begin to be envious and say, man, you know what? They didn't earn that. And that's not fair to me that he didn't earn it. And so when he show up to work, you looking at him like, and it ain't even his fault. The company decides to hire him when they shouldn't have hired him. But I'm telling you, the anger don't come out against the company, more so they come out against the person who you physically have to work with every day. You think if they give a woman who's not qualified an opportunity to be a pilot, how do you think other pilots going to treat that woman? Everything she do will be scrutinized. That's not fair. She don't deserve that. Let her win it with her own merit. When you have Joe Biden saying, I'm going to pick a black Supreme Court justice. Therefore, everything Ketanji Brown Jackson did was scrutinized. It's like, whoa. Did you pick her because she's black or did you pick her because she's qualified? Therefore, her lack or her people not knowing her qualifications and you purporting that it's her race that you're using to determine it, people see her race more than they see any of her accomplishments. She could have been the most accomplished Supreme Court justice in United States history, but since you made it about race, people can't see her accomplishment because it's about race. We got to stop doing this. So give me a comment in the comment section what you think about Hendricks. But she raised over $785,000 on her GoFundMe. And I want to say this real quick because Jordan, my researcher, she had put this in place for me to talk about, and I just was running my mouth and I skipped over it. I want to hit 2 points. Can I hit 2 points real quick? And Nick, in pre-production, you can cut it the way you want it, because I said a lot of superfluous stuff. But I really wanted to talk about the difference between free speech and hate speech. Let's understand this very clearly. This is going to take me, I don't know, like 2 minutes to do. Free speech versus hate speech. People have to understand, just because it hurts your feelings don't mean it's hate speech. You know, and hate speech do not supersede free speech until hate speech turns into violence. Let me give you an example. If I walked up to a corner store and I said, F you, you N-word, hey, N-word, give me that, ring my coffee up, N-word. There's not a crime against saying that to somebody. You are an idiot for doing it, but it's not a crime. Also, in a private business, they can say, I'm not going to serve you because I don't like the way you're behaving in my establishment. You could be outside and somebody can roll by, hey, N's, hey, N-words, hey, saltines. You can say whatever you want to say to people. Because to be honest, it only should bother you if you let it. Now, somebody getting in your face and trying to put their hands on you, that's a different story. But the only way speech begins to be speech that's protected against, meaning thwarted over, related to the Constitution, is if it becomes violent. Meaning that I'm telling you, let's go out and let's take out all the white people, right? So you have the free speech to call white people a name that you want to, but when you start saying, let's go take them out, let's go say something that's going to induce violence, let's go hail Hitler, You going and doing stuff like that creates an environment where people's lives begin to be in danger. And therefore, the government has to step in to protect other people's rights. But when it comes to calling people the F word, calling people the N word, people can say what they want to say, man. And we got to understand that's free speech. You have to deal with you not being so soft all the time and letting words get to you. Somebody can call me an N word right now. Now, I may feel disrespected, but they have the right to say whatever they want to say. I walk away from the person. I don't do business with the person. I have freedoms and choices to navigate. It is rare that you will ever hear somebody call me the N-word in my face. It has never happened in my personal life, only when I was a cop and they knew I couldn't put my hands on them. But why were they doing it? Because they were racist? No, because they want to trigger me. But it is up to you to decide whether or not you're going to let something affect you or not. And you got to be the weakest, most ignorant, crybaby, sorry son of a gun if somebody call you a name and you get offended. He called me the N-word. Shut up. People back in the day, they used to beat people and hang people from a tree. That's enough to get offended. Calling a word is weak-minded. Brandon, you an Uncle Tom sellout. Do I care that you are ignorant enough to call me some foolish name? Tell that to my wife, tell that to my bank account, tell it to my employees, tell it to my influence online, tell it to my subscriber number. You tell that to them, all right? Speak that into that and see where it goes. It goes nowhere. You ain't going to change my marital status by calling me Uncle Tom. You're not going to change my bank account. You're not going to change my employees, the impact that I'm making in the world. My subscriber number is not going to go down because you called me Uncle Tom. And I still have an incredible amount of value that I know I have to the public. I go and speak to minorities all the time. More black people will come up to me than anybody else nowadays. So your words are your words. Shove it. That's what I would say. All right, let's get to this other situation I want to talk about. This Texas man died in the back of a patrol car. Now, this is what I want to teach you guys to do. Your first impulse reaction, don't always go with the first impulse reaction. Because watching this video and watching what this woman says to this guy, your first impulse reaction is going to be negative. It's going to be anger. It's going to be frustration. You're going to have a negative view of the police officer with your first impulse reaction. And therefore, a person is going to have a positive, a more favorable thought towards the guy who ultimately lost his life in the back of this patrol car. But I come here to say just this point, in my opinion, is that although the officer was wrong, I don't think the officer was as malicious as people are trying to make her out to be, which means that I don't believe that she should go to jail for what happened in the back of this patrol car. I think that there should be retraining, and I think that there should be consequences, but going to prison to me isn't right, because I don't think she intentionally did this to this guy. And I have had hundreds of people in the back of a patrol car. I've had many people fake seizures and do all kind of other stuff and act like they were sick, but they wasn't, because they were trying to get out of going to jail. And it's easy when you have so many interactions with people, and especially his actual behavior, to believe that the guy is adding on to something that's not really going on. Do we have a news clip? No, it's just it. Okay. Let me just give you guys some quick pointers here. Okay. His name was Darren Boykin. He was 23 years old. This is in Texarkana. He was a suspect of a petty theft, which means that he stole something and he finna go to jail. Now let's start with the beginning. None of this would have happened if he wasn't stealing. You don't end up in the back of a patrol car where a cop is not listening to you and things are happening to you physiologically. You will never end up in that situation if you ain't out stealing first, because your mama told you shouldn't be stealing in the first place, but you out here doing the same thing she told you to stop doing 3 years ago. She said you keep it up, you're going to end up going to hell or going to jail. Now, let's get past that point. Now he's here. After a foot chase, it was 90 degrees of heat in the car. Boykin was arrested by Officer Jerica Weaver, right? Jerica sound like a black woman, but this woman looked white. While in the back of the patrol car, Boykin repeatedly says that he can't breathe and was about to pass out. She did not seek medical help. Upon arriving at the jail, he was found unresponsive. Okay. The cause of death was complaining of a sickle cell trait. Natural causes was his death. No criminal charges were filed against any of the officers involved. So pretty much what happened to this man, and I'm going to talk about the civil lawsuit, but pretty much what happened to this man is he was having a reaction from sickle cell, which I don't know if he knew he had sickle cell. He didn't mention that he had sickle cell disease. And so he ended up dying from complications from that, which was unbeknownst to her and possibly unbeknownst to him. But there was a lawsuit filed on 2021 by his mother, Keisha. And I think Keisha's going to speak on this thing real quick. But it was against the officer that had her, Brett Hobbs, and Sergeant William Scott, probably the chain of command of hers. The allegation was officers showed deliberate indifference towards him in a serious medical incident. Claims despite knowing that he was in distress, they failed to provide medical care. All right, let's watch the video, and then we're going to be able to see some of that. But before we get there, unfortunately, his mother passed away in 2022 before the case ended. We don't know how she ended up passing away, but the case was dismissed in 2024, which I didn't even know it was dismissed. But I told y'all, wait till you watch it, you will see why I thought it should be dismissed. The reasoning is the officers didn't actually know of the serious condition. Officers granted qualified immunity, and their actions did not violate clearly established law. Okay, roll the film, and we're going to explain why. Roll it.
I want to help you get your way down to the jail.
Okay, you help me make it.
What are you helping you?
My leg, you know, leg.
What did you do to your leg?
I don't know. I need this reaction clean.
You need what?
I need to pull this reaction.
It's probably a cramp.
I can't move.
Do you want me to you want me to roll your window down?
No.
Huh?
No, it's gonna make it hotter.
Okay, you just want me to keep the air on high?
Yes.
Okay.
Stop. Now, a reasonable police officer, right? This guy did a theft, and he ran from the police officers. I don't know if he knew he had an illness like this. I'm sure they diagnosed sickle cell when you're a kid, but he ran from the cops. So it's not reasonable for a cop to believe that this guy is not in decent physical condition. He's a younger guy. He's 20-some years old. He just went on a foot pursuit, and he's complaining about his leg as if he's having a cramp. Reasonable. Do we stop and get you out of the car and give you electrolytes because you're having a cramp on the way to jail? No. That's not department policy. And a person that just fled from you, it would be in your best interest to try to get him out of the car again and let him take the handcuffs off so he can stretch his hamstring so he can run from you again. So none of that is reasonable at this point. She also mentioned, are you okay? Do you want me to roll the window down? Do you want me to keep the AC up? She's trying her best to deal with this guy. She's not like Derek Chauvin, who just completely ignored the guy altogether. She is at least communicating with him and making sure he's okay, which is within reason. She has no idea he's gonna die, and she don't know nothing about his condition. And let me add this real quick for the audience that's watching this. This lady is not looking at him. She's riding and driving and looking at the road. This is a body-worn camera that's facing him the whole time. So whatever movements and things that he's doing, she is not capturing every single thing that's happening to this kid. She's focused on driving. She got an MTC. She's not looking at what we see. So some people may be thinking that she's watching him go through these physiological differences or changes in the back seat, and she can't see that. She's driving. Roll the clip.
Yeah?
Let it pass out.
You do what?
Let it pass out.
You're about to?
Let it pass out.
You'll be okay. Just lean against the glass. Where are you staying now? Where are you living now? What's your address? All right.
Stop. See, she don't know that he was serious because 99.9% of the time, if somebody's going to pass out, they don't broadcast that they're going to pass out. I've never seen a person pass out and they go, I think I'm going to pass out. I think I'm going to pass out, and they pass out. Not saying that it doesn't happen. It's just that has never happened to me as a police officer. And I have had people pass out. You could just kind of tell they're getting loopy, and you're like, oh, and they're like, hey, I'm not feeling good. And then boom, they gone. And you're like, okay, they passing out right now. So I could see how this officer could be thinking that he's just trying to get out of going to jail. You know, he's making these excuses. I got the AC on him. He's a young guy. He hasn't complained about any medical condition that he has. And he's saying he's about to pass out. Maybe he's just hiding. He's laying down. She don't know because she's driving. And she haven't really looked back there at him. Roll the clip.
You know you're still going to jail either way. You know, somebody that passes out isn't able to stop themselves from falling forward, right? Fun fact. 1429.
So think about this. Now, y'all watch the video. Of course, that make you upset when you hear her sound kind of pompous and saying, yeah, just so you know, nobody did, which is, this is a learning. This is why I think she needs to go back to retrain a little bit on this. It's a learning thing for her. Most people that pass out, they don't catch themselves. But him passing out was probably a different scenario than completely passing out, right? Some people that pass out, they just completely go unconscious and they just hit the ground. I mean, face first. But some people, they are slowly losing consciousness, meaning that they in there, they getting drowsy, they lean over, and then they end up slowly passing out. So I think that obviously that didn't age well for her, but I don't think she was malicious. And anybody that watched this, maybe you don't like her mannerism, maybe you don't like what she had to say, but when you look at the totality of circumstances, it's reasonable that this officer didn't intentionally or wasn't completely negligent. If she was sitting there and they were parked on the side of the road and she's talking to him face to face and he's having these physiological changes going on and she just completely ignored him and shut the door on him, didn't have the AC on, drove him to the jail, didn't even respond to him, then I would say she would be responsible. But you got to understand, this person is driving a car. They're not looking back at him. She probably can kind of glance up at him every now and again, but she see him moving when she glancing. She don't see his mouth and his face. She see him moving. So she like, oh, he's just laying back. He hot. He's just trying to lay down. And therefore, things like that happen. But I guarantee you when she got to the jail, she gave medical attention and all of the other things she should have done. That's why she didn't go to jail. And that's why the civil lawsuit did not continue. So the aftermath of this is no officer was held accountable, which I agree to. They should be retrained, though, because you have to learn that the next time this happens, you got to be a little more mindful to check on the person that's behind you. OK, the case dismissed and the mother's death before justice could be served has left the family and advocates heartbroken. Many feel justice was never delivered in Darren Boykin's situation. Let me add this and then I'm moving on because I want to tell you guys about our sponsor. But people love to jump on the bandwagon after Darren, I think his name was Darren died. But where was the family and the activists when Darren was committing crimes? And I'm not saying he deserved to die, but he would have never been there if he wasn't committing a crime. So where were y'all at when Darren was committing a crime? Where were you at when Darren was running from the police? Where were you at? Was he homeless? Did he need opportunities? And you guys didn't pay him no mind until he died and you want to do a GoFundMe. That's the thing that bothers me. It's like family members and activists and community members don't care about you until you die. They're not concerned how you feed your family. They're not concerned if you ever see your kids or not. They're not concerned with your mental health. They're not concerned with your day-to-day struggle. They're not concerned getting you counseling and therapy so you can deal with the issues because your daddy wasn't never around. They don't care about you. They are not concerned about you. They don't check up on you. They don't call for you. They don't send for you. They don't send money. They don't provide opportunities. All they do is stress you out and you become the soundboard for everybody, but nobody's a soundboard for you. That's what they do to you. until you stealing because you ain't got no money and you got to take care of your kids. Now you running from the cops. You get caught. You got sickle cell. Nobody ever took you seriously. And then when you die, we so heartbroken. We can't believe he died. He was a good kid. How you know you were never around him? How you know you never picked up his phone call? That's what bothers me about people. Now I will move on. Let's go to the View real quick because I think this is a pretty interesting story. Let's see, I got 24 minutes. No, I don't want to go there real quick. I want to go to Masa Chips. So I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Masa Chips. I know you guys hear me talk about them all the time. I try not to be too in your face about it, but I do think that we need to focus more on our health. A lot of people that are watching this are thinking about losing weight or thinking about being healthier or whatever the case may be. Going to the gym is a part of it. Walking and exercising is a part of it. Your diet is the biggest part of it. And I'm going to tell y'all this. I love finding good alternatives to things that I love that can really help with my health in a very easy way. I'm not telling you to never eat chips again, but there's an easy way to go from them seed oil, fried chips with fake seasoning and food coloring and all kind of stuff in it to going to Masa Chips that's healthy and good for you with 3 or 4 ingredients in it. So you don't have to abandon your chips. You can just go to a healthier chip. It's the same thing that I think about like stuff that you drink. You don't have to abandon, right away. If you're drinking soda, I think soda is bad for you, but you don't have to abandon it. Just go with the 0 sugar. That's a good start. You literally are drinking all your calories up by doing certain things like that. But Masa Chips is what I want to talk to you about. I have these Masa Chips. My family, we buy cases of Masa Chips. My favorite is the Cabanero chip because it's a little bit of spicy. But the lime chip is really good. The original and the blue are all extremely good. So no matter what chip flavor you like, Masa Chips is the best flavor. I mean, it's the best chips that you can buy. It's small ingredients: corn chips, organic grass-fed beef tallow, and sea salt. That's it. And then whatever flavor they give. That's it. That's all it is. Super healthy, super convenient. You got to give it a try today. And they're delicious. All you got to do is look at their 5-star reviews. They're delicious. All right. So go to the link in the description section or put in discount code when you go to the website. Put in discount code Officer Tatum and you get 25% off your first bag. But just know when you eat them, you're going to be hooked on them. So as soon as you get your 25% off, just know you're going to be ordering more. So shout out to Masa Chips. Get you some Masa Chips today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to one more topic here. Before I run out of time. The View was told to tone down their rhetoric by executives. Bob Ingle. What was his name? Hold on, let me see. Where's his name at? Because I'm looking at this one. It's Igertold. Is that spelled wrong, or his name is Igert and it's spelled like this? It must be spelled wrong. It's spelled Igert. Oh, Iger right here. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So somebody who wrote this put Iger. It should be Iger told the View. I was like, dude, Iger told. Anyway, Bob Iger, who is Disney's CEO, allegedly, we don't know if this is true or not. Insiders are saying that he allegedly told them that they need to tone down on the anti-Trump rhetoric, which is pretty interesting because it almost came after they've negotiated a deal, him and Trump, when it comes to Disney, or they were talking about a deal when it comes to Disney, and all of a sudden they're now told to tone down. But whether you believe this or not, right, Stevie Wonder can see that they need to tone down their rhetoric. Stevie Wonder can see they're doing too much. Let's go to the clip so you don't have to believe me. Let's go to when they reacted to Donald Trump winning. And you tell me, do you think Bob Iger is thinking to himself, y'all finna F me over, right? I have y'all read legal notes every 2 episodes. Y'all need to pipe it down. Roll the clip.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have.
Time out.
And
Stop.
I remember my father.
I thought I was going to let it go. This hamburger heifer said that her daughter has less rights than she did. What in the funnel cake is she talking about? What less rights do women have now than you had before Trump got elected? Let me say this real quick, and I swear I'm gonna let him finish. Donald Trump is not responsible of giving or taking away rights. Donald Trump cannot amend the Constitution of the United States of America. Anything that is changed to people's constitutional rights or laws have to be done through congressional oversight, but through Congress. Okay? It has to pass the House and Senate. So what the are you talking about? Let him finish.
Father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States.
Time out.
I think
Donald Trump did not participate in it. This is why they have to read legal notes every day. It was determined in court he had nothing to do with it. That's why he never got in trouble. And he wasn't there. Now, how you say that somebody participated in something they told people not to do? That's like if one of my guys go downstairs and beat up the mailman because he's sick and tired of the mailman not putting the key where he's supposed to put it or whatever. I'm hypothetically speaking. And he go beat the guy up. And y'all got me on camera saying, hey, bro, don't go down there and be violent. Just have a conversation with him, okay? Don't be violent, okay? We support the mailman. He go down there and beat him up, and all the other employees go down there and jump him. Brandon was involved in beating up the mailman. No, I wasn't. I told him not to do it. Okay, roll the clip.
that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should not be prevented from employment.
God dang it. I thought I was going to, Nick, why y'all give me such a clip with full of convicted felon? Ma'am, do you understand? And you're a prosecutor, wasn't she? She was a lawyer, a prosecutor. Hey, dummy, you know all felons aren't the same, right? So with her logic, Donald Trump was a convicted felon for what? Misappropriating funds? I think that's what it was. He didn't even do it. They say that he instructed his lawyer and somebody else to do some manipulating with funds. So is that the same as somebody murdering somebody, fool? Is that the same as somebody raping somebody? Is that the same as somebody abusing a child? Is that the same as somebody who's involved in vehicular homicide, DUI homicide? Ma'am, is that the same? So how do you use a white-collar crime to dictate that every felon shouldn't have to put that Nicholas? He don't like me called Nicholas. He get PTSD. No, his dog used to bite him every time he said Nicholas or something. But listen, like, the logic is, they so deranged with Trump, they have no logic. If a man is responsible for assaulting children, should he not have to disclose that when he apply to work at a school? Roll the clip.
Country, because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons.
Well,
and so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps, and I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it.
You know the term they say, never bite the hand that feeds you. If I look up Bob Iger, I bet he's white. This woman is on a television network making over $1 million a year. And she's complaining that America is biased against black people. A referendum. But yet you on the show with a dumb Mexican on the show, and I'm not saying because she's Mexican, she just happened to be dumb and Mexican. Have her on the show. Then you have the wasted face that claims she's a Republican. She ain't no Republican. She's just a wasted face. That cute face could have went on somebody that got a common sense. What is and it's a whole show full of women. What are y'all talking about? Like, who are these people that are against blacks and against? Let me say this. I try not to be the black person lecturer, but people ain't worried about y'all. Y'all are the problem. White people don't wake up in the morning and think to themselves, dang, that black girl that got a doctorate degree is really bothering me that she lives in our neighborhood now. No. She's great. They keep their yard great. They don't have riffraff over here. She's educated. Actually graduated from the same school I went to, summa cum laude. But no, because she's black, we don't want her in the neighborhood. Nobody's thinking about that. You guys are conflating the one that's got the doctorate degree that got common sense raising their kids to the one that's over there in the parking lot twerking it. She in a gated neighborhood, backing it up like this on a car, got Tyrone with his bald tires driving up in the yard. Man, got felonies, police over there every other day. No, the white people don't want that. They ain't worried about you being black. They just tired of you ends. I'm tired of y'all ends. I live in a great neighborhood. Let some people come over there and the police start showing up. Hey, we pay too much money for cops to be in here. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. I don't care if they black. I don't care if they white. I don't care if they gay, trans, straight, Buddhist, Christian. I don't give up. Nobody wants trashy people around them. And stop projecting. All people do is project. Oh, the white man don't. No, you don't like you. Nick, you got to cut this. Can I? You don't like you. You know you ain't. You know you can't stop stealing. You know you lying on your taxes. You know you didn't take school seriously and you're uneducated. Quit blaming the white man because you feel like that they're holding a mirror up to you. You go to the mall and you know you dumb because you didn't take school serious like your mama told you to. So when a white person says something smart, you think they judging you. No, you know you don't. You know you don't let your baby daddy see his kids, and you a dirtbag mama. And then you see a white woman with a full family, and you mad at them. Oh, they think they better than everybody else. They think oh, she following me around the store, and you know you buying. I'm gonna stop. You buying stolen clothes last week from a booster. They just brought you some stolen clothes from Dillard's, and you in Dillard's right now wondering why they following you. Yeah, no, because La Sherelle stole from Dillard's every weekend. She steal every weekend, and you know all the other people that you know stealing. You buying the clothes. White people ain't coming to you with no stolen stuff. Only black people, and you mad because they following you. They following you because they stealing. Okay. Last one, and I'm moving on. Let's see these legal notes that The View has to read every time they're on the show. Roll the clip.
The things he believes. So he falsely linked vaccines to autism. He called the coronavirus vaccine the deadliest vaccine ever made. And go look at his role in measles in Samoa.
Oh,
So
well,
that's your new Secretary of Health, America.
I have a legal note.
Take credit
Go
for it.
ahead. Go ahead. Kennedy has insisted he is not anti-vaccine and that Americans should make informed choices for themselves and their families. In response to the measles outbreak in Samoa, Kennedy said he bears no responsibility for the outcome.
So the volume is being turned up on sexual.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you guys know why she had to read that legal note? They're not reading a legal note because Kennedy is telling them, hey, I want you to correct my position. They're having to read a legal note because he's saying, you're lying on me. There's no evidence of this. And you need to tell the world the truth about what I stand for because there's evidence that I stand for this. Now, you're going to read this legal note. I'm going to sue you. That's why they reading it. All right, next one.
Misconduct allegations against the current nominee to lead the U.S. Justice Department, Matt Gaetz.
How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old?
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
Sexual misconduct allegations seem not to matter anymore. It seems like unless you have a sexual misconduct allegation, you can't be in the cabinet.
I have a legal note. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
Allegedly, alleged sexual misconduct or harassment. Gaetz, RFK Jr., Pete Hegseth.
Another legal note, Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. He has denied any wrongdoing.
About Matt Gaetz, listen, it's not only, what's on the ethics report that may or may not come out. I think what's already in public knowledge, right, what the New York Times published the day before where they had a chart,
a
graph of all of the Venmo payments. This wasn't just one instance.
I have a legal note.
You want to take this one, Joy, or you
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
The more we're learning about him, he has credible sexual misconduct allegations, but he also would be the single least qualified Secretary of Defense in history.
Also, another legal note, Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. He has denied any wrongdoing. Trump's new pick, Pam Bondi, I believe she's a dangerous pick as well because she is, she supported Trump's false election claim. She was involved in the efforts to overturn the results. And so that is now the person that's going to be the chief law enforcement.
Let me say this.
Sorry, everyone. I have another legal note.
How long is this video?
Both Trump and
got
Pam
another
Bondi
one. Yeah.
have denied allegations of a quid pro quo that his past donation played any role in her office's decision to not take legal action against Trump University when she was, of course, the Attorney General of Florida.
Just call the show Legal Note from now on.
Okay. Let's get back. I think I'm done. That's my last thing. Now, we may do Yosemite. How much time I got? I got 6 minutes. Hey, look, check this out. If you guys are wondering what cigar this is Liga Privada 52, T52. They call it TV. I call it 52. So it's a Liga 52. It's really good. I think Drew Estates makes this cigar. This is a freaking phenomenal cigar. Now, just so you guys know, I'm making my own cigar coming up soon. We got it in the works. I can't share too much with you because it's kind of like not disclosable right now, but I am doing my own cigar, and it's going to be, right, it's going to be pretty expensive because we got to make it the best you're going to ever taste. I'm not putting out cigars for just everybody to just take it and be like, oh, that's all right. Thank you, Brandon. It was a good cigar. I want people to smoke it and be like, oh, my God, I can't believe this. I never had a cigar this good. Anyway, let me move on from my own selfish stuff. All right, let's get to the LGBTQ thing real quick. This will be a quick video. Won't take long. I got 6 minutes. This, like, Jesus, I'm sorry. I don't know how I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm sorry. You did all that for people to be down here doing this. I don't get it. And let me just say this. Hey, bro, at least try. Right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to do the girl thing, at least cut your mustache. Shave it down a little bit, bro. At least get some filler or something so you can round that chin off. Your chin, you can cut up a watermelon with that chin. Stop. Because we can't take y'all serious when you're doing this. If you want to be a girl, then try to be a girl. You in this androgynous stage, it gives people the ick. Homeboy got a fire mustache. What they call it fire crotch. You know, when people he got one of them on his chin right here. All right, let's roll the clip before I get in trouble on here.
Some carry hate. We carry the largest trans pride flag to ever be flown in a national park. And
hold on. What does trans got to do with Yosemite? I don't know how does what you do with your own gender identity or who you humping at night have anything to do with Yosemite Park? I don't understand. Let me not go down that path. Finish the clip.
Furled it on the side of El Cap to prove a point that trans is natural. The Trump administration and transphobes would love to have you believe that being trans is unnatural, but species that can transition sexes can be found on every continent and in every ocean on planet Earth.
Stop.
So call it a protest, call it a celebration.
Hold on. If it's so natural, why are you taking hormones? No. If it's so natural, why you putting makeup on? If it's so natural, why you putting hair weave in your head? If it's so natural, why your eyelashes and stuff like that? If it's so natural, what were they doing before you can do puberty blockers? What were they doing before they can get breast augmentation? What were y'all doing before you taking testosterone? What were y'all doing? It ain't natural. Look, let me say this. It's only 20 seconds left and it doesn't matter. But let me say this. I would be okay, and I am okay, with trans people who are honest. It's okay. You live in America. God gives us free will. You can do whatever you want to do. That don't mean you're going to be a Christian. That don't mean you're going to go to heaven. But that don't mean you can't do what you want to do. It's your life. Do whatever you want to do. So you can do whatever you want to do. Just be honest and quit playing games. You know, the only honest transgender person that I've ever heard of was Blair White. Blair White to this day says that he's a man, but he feel more comfortable identifying as a woman, and he feel whatever. I respect that. Just say that's what you're doing. Why are you trying? Transgenderism and homosexuality is not natural. Anybody can identify that through evolution. If it was natural, we'd all be dead at this point. If it was normal, we'd all be dead. Or we wouldn't be dead, we wouldn't have never been alive. So, and then our genitalia isn't even created for that to be a reality, right? You're not supposed to stick nothing. All right. You're not supposed to go down the one-way street. I don't know what y'all, the rectum, the anus is a one-way street. It is made for waste to come out of it. Nothing supposed to go in it. That's why people be having infections. They can't hold their poo in. They getting diseases and stuff. Because you ain't supposed to have nothing that protrude into that part of your body. It's not natural. It's not healthy. None of that stuff. So stop lying. Just say you want to be nasty and you want to be freaky. Hey, everybody got some freak in them. Quit lying though. You ain't supposed to be doing that. That God gave you that. That don't go in there. Amen and amen. Come on, somebody give me an amen. Y'all leave me out there like I'm the pastor at the church getting the truth. Everybody quiet. Hallelujah. He said hallelujah. Come on, worship. We gonna start. Hey. Don't get me start preaching up in here.
Court is now in session.
Look, now you threw it off, Trent. God dang. Nick, you should have jumped in on that. Don't let Trent do himself like that. All right, so what I'm saying is be real. God made that organ. That organ goes into that other organ just fine. It's made to do that. That's how we all been born. Somebody used that one with that one. And 7 billion people are alive today. Why we gotta lie, man? What y'all doing, bro? Just say, and I'm done, Nick. I got a meeting. Just say, I want to be freaky, or just say, I can't control it, or I was molested when I was younger, and I'm attracted to this now, or just say I'm curious about this. Just be honest. Quit saying you born a certain way. You can't like some people are born with an attitude. That don't mean you have to live your life with that same attitude. You can change, you can evolve, you can get better, you can put things in perspective. And like it's funny because people think that homosexuality is somehow different than heterosexuality when it comes to holding back on urges that you have that you probably shouldn't have. When I was younger, y'all, before I was saved, man, I wanted everything. I wanted all them girls. If it looked like this and she had cute feet, I wanted her. I wanted to take her to the dorm room. Does that make it right? And what changed? I said, you know what? God wants me to do better. The Bible says I shouldn't fornicate. So that changed my perspective on what I should and should not be doing. I can't make no excuse and say, well, God, you made me that way. Yeah, I am made to want to be attracted to women, but you have to be able to scale that back to be within reason. You may be a man that want another man. Scale that back to be within reason. If you want a family, you need to be with a woman. And I say this, and I almost wish I could write a book about it. I don't know. I don't hear people talking about it like this. It's like, bro, what is attraction really? And I'm gonna move on. But what is attraction really, bro? I was talking to a guy. He was a conservative. He was gay at one of my events in Texas. And I'm just telling it like it is. I'm not holding back. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying. I'm like, bro, let's keep it real for 1 second. Like, what can another man do for you that a woman can't? Because at the end of the day, relationship is more than just intimacy and attraction and sex. Relationships are more than that. That's just a byproduct, or that's a part of relationships that last. So relationships foundationally about love and about support and about community and a lot of other stuff that will have you married for 70 years. This sex and attraction and all this stuff is subjective and it's temporal, and it's not really the crux of what a relationship is really supposed to be. So with that being said, what are you really attracted to? Can you really not see yourself being with a woman? You can't get over the little part of what a relationship is. Isn't it about love and about support? It's just crazy to me that people just make so many excuses. But anyway, I love you guys anyway. Super chats? No super chats? What? All right, let me get super chats real quick. What? Oh, no. Sorry. All right. Super chats real quick. All right, ready? 2 Israeli officers were shot in D.C. by pro-Palestine. Oh, I saw that. I saw somebody talking about that after he had started yelling "Free Palestine." We got to talk about that tomorrow. Thank you, Justin, for that. We got to talk about that tomorrow. I saw that somebody had posted about it. James, thanks so much for joining the Tatum Force. I appreciate it. Tatum Force is one above the Tatum Squad. The view is cheeks. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I know what that means. Let's see, Scripture, thanks so much. And then Adam, don't lump redheads in with this confused tricycle. a tricycle. That's funny. Yeah, man, I nothing against the redheads, man. A lot of redheads I love, man. What's his name? They used to do our stuff, Nick. Sean is a redhead, man. Love him to death. One of my favorites. All right, love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Right.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American.